The wormwood sways back and forth, restless in the wind.
If there is a common thread that weaves together games from Grasshopper Manufacturer, it's that the end result will almost certainly be nuts. The development philosophy seems to start with an established genre, then throw as many incongruent and bizarre things as possible to keep players off guard and/or entertained.
That's a bad omen.
In Black Knight's Sword, you control the titular knight, who, according to an evil-sounding announcer, is summoned by the sword's spirit to vanquish an evil princess. What follows is a shinobi-inspired side-view action game that mixes platforming with multi-directional slicing. The presentation is the game's most striking feature, with the action displayed within a puppet theater diorama, complete with a red curtain framing the screen and backgrounds that slide up and down as you progress. Your puppet protagonist wiggles and wobbles a bit as he jumps, and drags the two-handed sword along the ground as he clinks and clanks from left to right. Yet while the visuals first appear to be whimsical, the content is dark and deranged. You'll confront bizarre flying and crawling heads, misshapen monstrosities, and more. Attacking enemies with your sword will cause geysers of blood to spew out, and defeating an enemy will leave behind hearts. Not greeting card hearts, mind you, but actual organs with valves and arteries. You'll use these hearts as a type of currency, which can be cashed out to a giant eye creature for extra lives, health, armor, magic, and other temporary power-ups.
Oh, it's you! What will you do?
True to its retro-flavored roots, the game ends once you've exhausted your limited supply of lives, which is quite easy to do. While the controls are generally responsive, at least with the directional pad, your knight is rather large, so it's easy to get hit. Many of the dangers you'll encounter require split-second timing, so you'll need to learn a level's pattern and layout by dying a few times before you're able to progress. In other words, those who cut their teeth on 8 and 16-bit action games should feel right at home. The combat is mostly mindless slashing, with one awkwardly implemented evasive roll for defense and a charge-up move that emits a Medusa-like head from your sword. The overall weirdness and distinctive art style keep Black Knight's Sword from being another run-of-the-mill action game. Yet the 5 main levels can be completed within 2 hours, and while there is an option to continue playing on a more challenging difficulty setting, as well as additional challenge-oriented modes, the level design doesn't encourage exploration, and there's little interactivity aside from slashing at enemies. For old-school vets seeking a blast from the past, that might not matter, but for the majority of players, Black Knight's Sword's gameplay will feel like a stiff suit of armor, too creaky and confining to be worth the bother.
It could be over at any moment.
See this and other GT shows and game reviews on the GT Originals iOS app, available now on the App Store.